What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another deck analysis video. Today we're talking about the Gentle Criminal deck that I played for week 7 for the 0 to Hero challenge, where I take a very limited card pool and I play a bunch of webcam games with it, 3 webcam games, and we make a new deck every week. If you want to see the deck building process, you can check it out on Patreon for just $7 a month, or a week later, free over on YouTube. But with that said, let's talk about the Gentle Criminal. So I played my games tonight, and they were very fun. Ended up going 3-0 again. Crushed it. I played against 2 Shigaraki 3s, so Shigaraki 3, and then a Moonfish, a bunch of 7-hand size characters. The Shigaraki games were incredibly hard. My deck was not really ready to fight some fully powered Shigarakis, but the Moonfish deck was a little bit easier just because, like, chain blocking is really good. As long as I can get one block in, I kind of negate his character for the stats. And to be truth, Moonfish didn't draw too terribly hot, and I got some pretty potent throws. But what this is we're gonna look at the deck and see what cards I liked, what cards I didn't like, and so on and so forth. So first and foremost, we have Gentle himself. This character is very good. If you have 4 cards in your hand and you can make 1 block happen, you can make 4 blocks happen. There's a lot of, like, correctly guessing block zones and just like a lot of really cool things happening. It was very good. It was very good. Not to mention the bonus to speed was great. This character is only limited by the number of cards that you have inside of your hand. So the more cards that you have inside your hand, the better off you're going to be. On our first attack, though, we have Assault Dust. This card was probably fine. It was fine. It never went to momentum. I didn't have a problem getting momentum. There were some times where I'd have like 6 momentum and then not find my momentum out, which was rough. This card was fine. It should probably be anything else, but being like a 5 high for 5, if you play it second, it's like a 7 high for 5 is good. I guess a good poke. Feels very good versus the 7-handers that I fought. Probably would not feel very good versus the 6-handers, right? And that's like the big takeaway from Gentle Criminal is, like, it was tough killing the 7-handers. I don't know what I would do against 6 and 5-handers. Probably just wouldn't work. Up next, we have Gouging Needle. This card was good. This card was good. It's a 5 low. I accidentally, without even realizing, put a lot of low zone overload inside of this deck, and this card being a powerful move that I can play at the end is just really good. The one downside about it is that it's a 0 high block, but it's an attack, and I don't really want to block with it anyways. And so blocking with it super late is good. Blue Flame Torment. For having 3 of these guys in my deck, I didn't see it at all. So I wanted to put it here. I think I resolved this card in the 6-7 matches that I played. I think I resolved it 1 time, maybe 2. I just didn't see it, but it was good. It's probably in an overperformed area just because it says plus damage to this one, plus speed to the next one. If they block this one, which it's 7 damage, is more speed, right? Like going Blue Flame Torment into Deadly Ambush says that Deadly Ambush just hits. Oh, I'm not on Blue Flame Torment. I'm so sorry. Blue Flame Torment is it's just very good. It's very good. Deadly Ambush. So I played against 2 Shigaraki 3s, right? So, like, it was bad versus them because it's a 6 diff and I can't, like, they just like -1 the check, and I'm like, yeah, I'll turn my whole board sideways so that you can kill me. So I like reviewed this card a ton. But the times that I got it, it was good. But I'm probably going to leave it in the fine category. I think you don't need it is my biggest takeaway. Without currently the ability to really give it some mad stats, it's not that great. It's not that great. Up next, we've got Gently Rebound. One of, if not the best attack in my deck. It's a 6 damage throw, which is just, like, really good. Any amount of small damage pumps means that I was, like, hitting really hard. This card was great. This card was super good, and I wanted to see this card over and over again. But again, I played against 7 hand size characters without throw hate. So, yeah, this card was good. Death Arms Wallop. I listed this card and resolved it. I guess I resolved it twice, and it was fine. It was fine. The top enhance, so if it gets a bunch of speed, was not super relevant. That was more about, like, I had all this bonus momentum, and I was trying to make my opponent use their minus speed buttons, their once per game flip or destroy minus speed buttons. So that's what that was. The best part about this card still will always be selectively flip a committed foundation. Against Shigaraki, I flipped brute strength twice with this card, in one game, one in the other, and it said that like the turn that they could have gone in and done some massive damage, they were short like 6, 7, 8 damage just because they didn't have the brute strength up and available to them. So this card was great. Up next we had Gently Thief. This card, again, I was fighting against Shigaraki, and I'm playing a bunch of 5s and 6 diffs, right? Like we've talked about 4 now. Five of the 8 cards that we've talked about are all, or 7 cards we talked about are all 5 or graders. So this card was again fine. It was incredible. Like there was this one turn versus Shigaraki whenever he committed everything out, where if I would have checked a 5, I would have dropped him down to like 6 health on turn 2 on a build 1 foundation, right? Like I played a move, he blocked it, and then I Gently Thief. I checked a 5 and it crushed it, but I checked the 3 and I failed my turn and just like ended my turn for free. I think I ended up winning that game, which is crazy to me. Just shows you like how much Shigaraki needs to cobble together some pieces in order to push back. Let me get back to the game. But this card was fine. It probably would be better if there were more copies of it in the deck, truthfully, right? Like instead of playing the Deadly Ambush, just play more Gently Thieves and you'd probably have just like a better time. Although this is a mid, this is a low, so you'll have to see. Up next, Trap Flex. It's in the same idea as what the Rebound was doing. It's possible that like Gentle Criminal is actually just a throw deck, right? Under like find some really potent throws, find some good momentum uses like this Blue Flame Torment or something along those lines, and then just like play a bunch of like 6 damage, 7 damage throws and just like throw, good chain blocks, throw, good chain blocks, and that might just be like how Gentle is wanting you to play. We'll have to see with the new decks coming out. Spiral Wave Surge. I played this card 1, maybe 2 times, and it was good. Or it was fine. Nothing really to write home about. Its job was to be a threat. I don't know where that came from. That really snuck up on me. Its job was to be a threat so that I could play one of these 5 diffs and have it easier progressive, right? I play this. They block my 6 damage move. They block with a 2 mid block. My next check gets +3. I play one of these 6 damage or 6 difficulties. On a 6, my check gets +3. I check a 3. I commit nothing. I give it 3 speed. We're off to the races. Looks good. Feels good. And then Gently Trampoline is just the best attack in the deck, bar none. It's a 2 low for 4. If blocked, you do a thing. If it hits, or if blocked, draw a card. If it hits, draw cards. I one time got my opponent partial blocked this, and I drew 3 cards off of it, and I went, oh, I'll play a bunch of foundations, or oh, I'll play a bunch of attacks. It's just like, it's so incredible. It's so incredible. And this one low block is like gnarly. It's really good. But yeah, so like the throws were really good. The thing that auto pumped my check was really good. The thing that drew cards was really good. Everything else was like fine. Everything else was fine. But I think this was like due to numbers, and this is due to what I was fighting. These probably each should go up here. But I didn't. That's not what happened tonight. So I can only give you the information that I have. Up next, Gold Tips Imperial. So I think this card is way better than I've given it credit for. And I am very nervous about what Gold Tips Imperial does for the future of the game, truthfully. Tonight it was fine. I guess I was fighting against a bunch of Tongue Whip decks, and so like saying that Gold Tips Imperial is bad versus Tongue Whip decks is just factually incorrect. It was fine. I'm excited to 4x a Gold Tips Imperial deck and find a momentum based deck that just like blows people out of the water. This card is messed up to turn your character into Denki. Sometimes like there was one game where I had 2 of them out and I just like slammed 8 momentum for free for no reason, because like my goal was to just like find this or find this and just blow my opponent up with momentum based abilities. I just didn't get there. Combining that with Battle Arena, this card is insane, right? It is +2 to my check. It is snag momentum for my cool cards, but more importantly, it also says +2 speed with Gentle. In fighting Shigaraki, this was one of the most important pieces that I had. It was really good, and so that felt great. That felt very good. And the action lover mode, I only had 2 of them in the deck, and it was good. I don't think it was in the overperformed category because I only ever formed with it 1 time, and truthfully, it was so that I could like find more foundations to build. Right, like I had an awkward hand of like awkward zone foundations, so I lover mode discarded the mid and then drew up. Oh, I found a low. I found 2 lows, or I found whatever. And then like versus the Blue Flame Torment, Tongue Whip deck. This card was block. It doesn't count towards progressive. You bounce a card back up to your hand. And so, like, the more relevant low attacks are, the better lover mode is in Gentle specifically. Just because it doesn't count towards progressive and gives you +2 to your next check. It's really good. On the foundations, elasticity. We're playing a throw deck. There was one turn where my opponent blocked a Gentle Trampoline. I drew my card. I flipped 3 of these bad boys and then played a throw. I was like, hey, 14 damage throw coming your way. What are your thoughts? and they're like, they blocked it and they were like, whew, thank goodness. And I went 1 more because you blocked. Take this. It was good. Dangerous Combatant. This card is fine. Again, there's not a ton of stun happening in my deck. Truthfully, this is a 1/5 low block. That's what this card was. So the fact that like it didn't overperform makes sense to me. It makes sense. Activating Hood, huge overperformer. Damage, +2 damage, or they commit a bonus foundation and also playable, committed +1 on my check. That does mean +1 on my check and +1 speed because of my character. This card was super good. Probably for a budget version of this deck, incredible. Probably gets overshadowed by some more like more consistency pieces of these are like the tried and trues, right? Like there's no releases in this deck. There's no blah 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 blah. There's a lot of choices you can make, but this card was good. This card was very good. It was useful. It helped me close out a lot of games. This card was one of the best foundations, at least tonight. Speaking of internet sensation, overperformed. Say my moves get plus damage. Just my Gently Trampolines were 4 diff, 4 low for 6s that drew me 2 cards or drew me a card instead of 2 low for 4s. It says that like everything just got a little bit better, and the Deadlock Enhance is insane in my character because after the first one, everything gets plus to the check, and if they block, it means like sometimes my moves are getting +4 speed, and they were just auto passing. So the internet sensations just paid for themselves. It was incredible. It was so good. Problem solving. I think this is a didn't see. It's I didn't play against any stun. I didn't really discard. I don't have any discard outlets in my deck. I just have the 1 Fearless Frog, and we'll talk about that when we get there. This card was whatever. It just wasn't relevant. So it's probably just in the fine category. It's a 1/5 2 high block, where this is a 1/5 3 low block, right? Fiery Confrontation had it at a 3 of. This card is good. Response Flip. My opponent discards an attack is a good ability. It just is, right? Response, and that's when you have to use Fiery Confrontation, is like get yourself into the mental of like, are they down to pay for this? If they pay for this, how much advantage does that give me? If they don't pay for this, if they discard the attack, that's a win. You won the exchange. Flip a foundation, cancel an attack is such a good rate. It's almost always worth it to pay for it, unless you think you're just gonna die for it. All Worked Up. Another good foundation. It's in the same idea of this. This card is actually more relevant when I was forced to discard because it's at -1 damage versus the Moonfish than anything. But this is Destroy, playable, committed, +1 speed, or +1 to my check, which in Gentle means +1 speed. So that was good. Creeped Out, MVP. Enhance, commit, Creeped Out. I'm now gonna start my blocking chain. I will block, my thing gets plus my check gets +X, because I blocked, and then I can just chain block afterwards. The games that I lost were because I didn't see Creeped Out, or I used it poorly, or I didn't see 2 of them, or whatever. Like, this card was nuts. Number 26, Pro Hero. I think this might have been like in the deck building video. I don't know. I remember it was last week. This might have been like the last card I put in the deck. This one's bad. I never wanted to build it. I had it built. I think I used its response 1 time, and then I went, I don't care about this. It's just a 6 check. It's a 3 high block, so like if you can block with it early, it says that your next block is essentially free. Yeah, it's whatever. The Chivalrous Thief. It's funny. I'm putting this card in bad. It is momentum hate. which is a little tough to find nowadays, but I have to have momentum to do it. But I've got Gold Tips Imperial, and it's like I discard momentum for +2/+2, and you discard 2 momentum. But I never felt like this was a priority to build, right? And I'm only playing at the 1 of, and I found it, and it won me a game, so I have to put it in fine. But man, I just didn't care about this card. I didn't care about this card even a little bit. I just didn't care. Fearless Frog. Fearless Frog was fine. I never used its ability, but it was my one discard out. The idea for this card was I'm supposed to be able to play it and find, play it so I can and block the zone correctly, and then like chain block. But it just never came up. I rather would have had the cards in hand and even like partial blocking as opposed to full blocking. It just never came up. League Handler, good card. I think I never responded with it one time, but it was always there as just the, as like a warning of like, hey, I could do this, so you have to make sure that you are, safe, right? Like you have to make sure that you are doing mental math, because I'll just League Handler it if you're playing sloppy. And then Ignite. This card is fine. It's fine at best. Can you even see it? Actually, it's bad. It's bad in my deck. It's a 0/5 3-red block. It just doesn't exist. And then this is just, it's good. It was the 1 of, right? It made this thing a little better. It made this thing a little better. I just didn't get to see it very much because the basic training was just the 1 of. But it's a 0/5 2-red block. Would definitely be playing more if we could have. Definitely would play more if we could have. With that said, though, you guys, this is it. This is the deck analysis for how the 0 to Hero went this week. It was very good. It was very fun. It was very fun to play these to play this week. Another 3-0 again. If you have any suggestions for the characters that I should be playing over for week 8 of 0 to Hero, let me know over on Patreon, patreon.com/TamCardwell. With that said, thank you much for watching, guys. As always, I wish you well.